And good afternoon. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed. My name's Matt Delvecchio, specializing in life transitions, downsizing, and the senior living industry. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining me on our Father's Day special. And what a lineup. Coming up, I'll be talking to Karl Subban, that's PK's dad, and I'll also be talking to new dad, MNA for Jacques Cartier, Gregory Kelley. And on the second half of the show, you won't want to miss my interview with a very special dad, Phil Lalonde, and his daughter, Jillian. Known as Coach Phil, he was diagnosed with ALS in September 2021, and he's fighting hard. Wait until you hear what Phil and his daughter have done to help him cope with his ever-evolving care requirements. That will be coming up after the 4:30 news. And to wrap up the show, I'll be opening up the phone and text lines so you can wish your dad a very happy Father's Day. So let me begin by wishing all the dads out there a very excellent and special Father's Day. Whether you are a dad, a granddad, stepdad, father-in-law, dad-to-be, a bereaved dad, or someone who plays the role of dad, I want to wish you warm wishes today and every day. Thanks for doing what you do so very well. And of course, our thoughts are with the dads who are no longer with us. And of course, I do want to give a special shout out to my dad. Happy Father's Day, Pop. Can't wait for a round of golf next Sunday. He's still going strong at 80 years old. I'm going to try to take a few bucks off of him during our round. It won't be easy. He is a tough customer, but I'm very, very proud of him. Happy Father's Day. All right. I'd like to bring in another great dad, Mr. Karl Subban. Montrealers may know Mr. Subban as PK's dad, although I'm pretty sure that Mr. Subban would probably want to be known as PK's, Malcolm's, Jordan's, Nastasia's, and Natasha's dad. Mr. Subban, such a pleasure to have you on our Father's Day special. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Mr. Subban, for taking a little time here on Father's Day to be with me on Life Unrehearsed. And I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. You are a father of 5 very successful children. So I'm going to ask you for some fatherly advice for our listeners.
Well, first of all, I love the title of your show, Life, CJAD, Life Unrehearsed, because so many fathers, and I'm included in that, we're doing this thing and it's not rehearsed. You know, we're on this journey that is so unrehearsed. And so I want to wish all the dads out there such a happy Father's Day. And so you want me to give some advice to all the dads out there?
Yeah, I'd love to hear some.
Yeah, well, one thing that I've learned to do, other than loving my child, but our children, it's really to have a relationship with them. And it was so easy not to have one with PK, Malcolm, and Jordan through the hockey. And the one thing that I did, and it didn't happen right away, was to see the person in the body a lot more than I saw the hockey player in that body. And so that helped me to nurture that relationship with them that is so important to their life success, you know. So to all the dads out there, and to all the fathers, because it's not just for fathers, it's for all the men who lend a hand in a fatherly way. Continue to connect with those around you, and to nurture a relationship with them that will help them to achieve the success in their lives.
Hey, listen to Life Unrehearsed. That's the voice of Mr. Karl Subban giving some really excellent fatherly advice. Someone with lots of experience with 5 children, of course, the 3 sons and 2 very successful daughters. Mr. Subban, I'm going to change it a little bit with the frame of mind. Look, you've had 3 boys all making it to the highest level of hockey, including, of course, PK, who does so much for Montreal and especially the Montreal Children's Hospital. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Mr. Subban, for those dads out there that are raising high-performing athletes.
Yeah. it goes back again to that relationship that is so important. To have that relationship with them that will support their growth and support their dreams. The other thing is, with my boys, I introduced them to hockey. And then that dream that I had for them, didn't take them a long time to make it their dreams. And so that was so important to them going as far as they did. They wanted to do it more than I wanted them to do it, and that is so important. And how do you get to that? Well, it doesn't happen overnight. But one of the things that I realized that it takes a village to raise our children and to raise an NHLer. And I wasn't always the most important one in that village. There were times when I had to just get out of their way. Just get out of their way and let others step in. Another thing is I had to have an open mind. That was so important, having an open mind and not closing it. Also, helping them to form the right attitude, especially when things don't go their way. I had to make sure that it didn't matter if what it was that happened, and sometimes and many times it wasn't good. So I had to make sure that my attitude was the right attitude. These and then the other thing, Matt, I think here's something that that was so important in these guys playing at the level and reaching the level they reached. And that was when they were younger, winning and performance did not come to nurturing the joy and the drive to practice and to train. That was so important that they continued to love the sport, and their performance, especially when they're young, it didn't matter much. And I made sure that it was always way up or way behind or way ahead of them. That in that moment, especially when they're young, I wanted them to make sure to help them to be passionate about it, and also to live for practicing and training, and made sure they knew that was the most important thing.
Well, it obviously paid off for all of them, Mr. Subban. Talking with Karl Subban here on Life Unrehearsed. I know, Mr. Subban, you wanted to address this very important topic that is developing and evolving, and perhaps not in the best way. We've seen an abundance of gambling ads on television, especially on the sports shows. And you've been quite an advocate for eliminating or at least reducing gambling ads. And why is that?
Yeah, well, I'm with the committee. Stop sports gambling. Stop ads for sport gambling here in Ontario, and it's a problem because of the volume of ads. Well, first of all, I work in a school, and based just on my information, too many young people are dabbling in gambling because it is. We've made it so easy today because it's online. And every young person I know has a smartphone. And every young person I know is spending probably too much time online. And so it's so easy for them to gamble. And so we want to cut back on the volume of ads that young people are exposed to on television and online. The second thing that bothers me, it bothers me dearly, is these companies are using the celebrities and superstar athletes to promote gambling. And think about it. There's a superstar hockey player or players, and there they are in these ads promoting it. Now you get some young kid who wants to be like that player. And so they will do everything or anything that they're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's a problem because I think it's we don't mind a young person saying, I want to be like him and playing hockey on television. But it's a bigger problem when they say, I want to be like him in those gambling commercials. So you can love your superstar athletes, but we don't want you to love them in those ads. And we want the government to do more and say, listen, we don't want you in these ads because you know what, you have the stage to influence too many of our young people. And I'll tell you what, too many young people today are getting themselves into a lot of trouble because of gambling.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mr. Subban. Listen, we're already out of time. It flew by, Mr. Subban. And I know, I'm going to have you back on the show because we didn't have time, but you're coming out with a book in September, and maybe towards that day we can have you back on. It's called The Hockey Skates, and it's aimed at the kids, and it's actually illustrated by a Montrealer, from what I understand, a nice Concordia grad student. So, Mr. Subban, I want to thank you very much, and hopefully we'll get you back on in September.
Thank you, sir, and keep up the good work. And to all the dads out there, have a great day. And remember, our journey as a dad is unrehearsed. All right.
You're going to be my promo man. Thank you, Mr. Subban. I appreciate it.
You didn't know that was
No,
coming, right?
I love it.
All right.
All right. Happy Father's Day.